Many manufacturers in the world have been in pursuit of a small car. Almost a century ago, one such manufacturer set out to create a people's car, and this very obsession of manufacturers to create small cars has actually led to the creation of some of the world's biggest motoring brands and iconic cars. One such car, of course, is the Volkswagen Beetle, which has gone on to become a premium small car.
That's right. India joined this bandwagon a little late, in fact just half a decade ago. And it did what the world was trying to create, a sub $3,000 car. And considering our love to save up, it was a sub $2,000 car, aka apdi 1 lakh ni Nano.
So on today's episode of PowerDrift, we review the 2013 Tata Nano, which has clearly undergone some changes, but it's perhaps ironic that even with today's exchange rates, we expect this very car to be a sub $3,000 car. The 2013 Nano's engine, as I'm about to show you, is essentially the same. Super chhad.
The car has jumped from its page 1 avatar to page 3 avatar. And trust us when we say this, it's not a bad thing. The exterior and the interiors also have received some cosmetic upgrades.
The front gets a new chrome strip, which transforms the Pokemon face into, well, a chrome-laced Pokemon, and this time with a beefier chin thanks to the new bumper. And the wheel caps are new and kinda funky. The chrome treatment doesn't end here, the rear too gets a new chrome strip.
The original Nano was a fantastically engineered product, but perhaps it ran into its woes because of the marketing. The cheap car image may have hindered its sales, but Tata Motors is very keen on changing this image for good.
Now the interiors of the 2013 Tata Nano are quite nice, much more sportier when compared to the older car, and I'm quite liking it. There are other few new niceties to be found all through the cabin. First up, the two glove boxes at the front, which can be found in the CX as well as the LX version of the car. And then a better sounding sound system that supports auxiliary connections, USB devices, and can also stream music from Bluetooth like I'm about to do now. And if your friends are at the back, well then this time around you don't have to bore them to death because there are 2 speakers even at the rear of this car. What happened? Oh, okay, my phone battery. Alright, so if you run out of juice, you don't have to worry because there is a 12-volt socket up here at the front, and so the music shall resume. Hey, over. What I also want to throw out there for you folks is that Tata's done some clever tweaks to the car. So the seat padding now is just right, feels better. And then the plastic quality, of course, has been improved. The car also comes in all black sporty option, which is good. Gear shift lever has been moved behind a bit, and unlike the old power window switches, these ones are right behind the gear shift lever. The hazard light switch has been moved between the 2 center AC vents out here, center of the dashboard, and in general the car just feels about right. Okay.
Now the new Tata Nano has essentially the same 624cc parallel twin engine, which produces 37 horsepower and 51 Newton meters of torque. It may not sound like much on paper, but then you have to consider that this car weighs half as much as a Swift. So when you take into account the low weight, you understand why Tata Motors has still not given this car a power steering. But what the company has done is increase the steering wheel diameter. So now you have more leverage to turn the wheel, and it doesn't feel as heavy as on the older car. The older Nano used to wander around a lot in crosswinds and at highway speeds of say above 70 kilometers per hour. The new one does much better, feels a lot more planted. The Nano has always been a peppy car to drive around in the city, but Tata Motors has tried to improve the highway experience as well. So the taller gearing does give the Tata Nano a better highway driving experience. In every gear, the new Tata Nano does about 10 kilometers per hour more compared to the old one. The gearbox is slick as ever, But the biggest improvement, as per me, is with the clutch. Nano gets an anti-roll bar in the front, so the new one doesn't exhibit as much body roll as the old one did. The NVH levels in the car have been improved as well. So now you have better brakes, which don't fade as much as they used to, and you also have a bit of feel on the pedal.
Now, you don't have to be a rocket surgeon or a neuroscientist to tell that the Nano in its current iteration has come a long way. In fact, this is what the Nano should have been when it was launched back in those days. And given the changes that the car has undergone and the fact that it can now be bought online makes it pretty pellucid and clear as to who Tata Motors is targeting this car for. It's for the younger folks amongst us.
And as we all know, youngsters love to be stupid. So we do believe that Tata Motors should have at least offered an optional extra airbag in the top of the line Nano. Nevertheless, it's still way safer and comfortable compared to a two-wheel commuter, and a really good option if you're in the market to buy your first car using your piggy bank savings.